Hey guys, and welcome to another block spotlight. In this spotlight I'm going to take a look at the building guide from the OpenBlocks mod. Now the building guide, as the name may suggest, will help you build certain objects. Now the reason for adding this into the game is essentially to allow players to easily build shapes like spheres and cubes and other things. So these are, shapes which normally require some planning, and the building guide allows you to do this way more easily. All right, so I've got a little sphere. Well, it looks more like a dome, but it was meant as a sphere over here. And in the center here we have a building guide. Now, as you can see, we've got some of these transparent blocks that look sort of foggy, and they allow you to see where you have to build. So I'm going to place down a new building guide, like let's say right here, and as you can see, the blocks just sort of appear, and this is the default shape. It is an 8 by 8 by 8 sphere. All right, so it is really a sphere. So if I go up a bit, you can see that the sphere sort of comes out of the ground here. So if I go up enough, the entire sphere will be above ground. So it is in fact a sphere. Now, actually, I should probably leave this up here for a second. All right, so I've got the sphere here. Now you may be thinking, well, I don't really want to build an 8 by 8 by 8 sphere, so a sphere with a radius of 8. I want to build something else, maybe a bigger sphere. Well, bigger sphere is easy. Now if you right click the side of the building guide, it will either extend the size of the block, so this side is extending it. If I go to the opposite side, it will shrink it. So that's how you change the shape. This side as well, extend and shrink on this side. If we go to the top, that was fairly obvious. We can extend it upward. The bottom extends it downward. All right, so inward, I guess. Okay, now let's say you don't want to build a, a sphere or an egg-shaped oval, whatever. You can just hold Shift and right-click the block, and the next mode is the cylinder mode. So this is an open cylinder, sort of like a pipe, and it just extends upward. Now if we hold Shift again and right click, we get to the cuboid mode. Again, a nice cube shaped object here. You can also shrink and extend this as with the other shapes. All right, so let's go back to 8 by 8 by 8. And the next mode is the dome mode. Now the dome mode, as you can see, is an actual dome. It's basically just half a sphere. So that allows you to build a dome over whatever. There's no particular reason why you'd want to use the dome mode over the sphere mode, other than that, it may be cleaner if you're building the dome on top of something, so you don't have the additional guides to build the bottom half of the sphere. But yeah, so there is a dedicated dome mode. And then next we have the triangle mode. Now the triangle is the first of several two-dimensional figures, well, shapes. So this is just a single layer. So the triangle is a single layer. And well, from this point on, all of the next modes are going to be two-dimensional. So the next one is the Pentagon mode. Now it does skip the rectangle mode because, well, rectangles are not really all that difficult to build. So here we've got the Pentagon mode, so it's got 5 corners. Next we have the Hexagon mode. That's a nice shape, a polygon with 6 corners. Then we have the Octagon mode. That's a polygon with 8 corners. So it's sort of hard to tell where the corners are, perhaps, at this size. So if I size it up a bit, in these two-dimensional figures are sized up completely. If you right-click anywhere, on the, well, upscaling sides. So this makes a bit clearer that there are 8 corners to this thing. And finally, the next mode again is the sphere mode. So it cycles over and over through those shapes. So that's basically it for this block. The next thing and the final thing I want to show you guys is how to craft this. And to craft this, all you need is a torch and some glass blocks surrounding it. So it's a very cheap recipe. Now there is no real reason to make this expensive either, because it is, well, not really an overpowered block or anything. It's just, you know, it tells you how to build. It doesn't really do anything else. So yeah, it's a very cheap block. It can be very useful if you want to build shapes like spheres and cubes, and you want, you don't really know how to do it, or you don't want to have to mess with the calculations. I think I've got a bat infestation. Yeah, wow, that's a lot of bats in my in my sphere, well, my dome. All right, well, anyway, so it's a cheap block, it's very convenient, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.